I have one question for you. How interested would you all be for a upcoming video where I present to you a blueprint of a proper adult? Now, don't say I'm an adult. I don't need a blueprint. Let me say this. We are now in the second generation of something like close to 60% of people growing up without a father. This is the second generation. This isn't the first generation. This is the second generation. I have a low opinion of women, and it's based on facts. It's not based on, women, I can't get with women. It has nothing to do with that, because trust me, I'm 6'2", tall, dark, and handsome. I have no problem. I have a low opinion of women because the way that we raise women, socialize women, is for them to basically do nothing in life. Nothing. In 2023, in 1923, a woman had to do a whole bunch of stuff. And what's really funny is, a lot of women today go, you just want to go back to the 50s, where women cooked and cleaned and did. No, she cooked and cleaned because she didn't have maids. We didn't have maids running around. We had maids running around in the 1800s. If you wanted to be a white woman, we had plenty of maids. And actually, well-to-do white women had maids all the way up until the 60s, 70s. There are still maids around today. It's just less and less and less. But we're talking about people who made $30,000 a year. Now, I'm talking about $30,000 a year back then, which is probably only something like $60,000 today. So imagine somebody with $60,000 today have a maid come in every day. Sounds crazy, right? We can't afford that today. There is a big problem among black people. And why do I say black people? Because when they did the survey, when they did the study, they found that white people who were poorer than the black people that they were surveying checked off a whole bunch of stuff on the blueprint. More. Richer black people have less going for them than poor white people. So this whole notion that black people don't have money, that's out the window. But what is in the window is black people don't have all the stuff on the blueprint. I've talked about something like this before. Black people don't have insurance. Black people don't have insurance. Black people don't have life insurance. What is it? Full auto insurance. They don't have that. They don't have renter's insurance, and they pay the bare minimum on the homeowner's insurance. The bare minimum. It would be something, mind you, if you said black people pay the bare minimum on homeowner's insurance and car insurance and take the savings and invest it. Here's the problem. I just told you, the wealthier black people than the white people don't have investments. So what are they doing with the money that they're pocketing from paying just the bare minimum? Homeowners insurance, auto insurance. They're not. They are technically poorer than the white people who make less. So what are we actually talking about? Black people have a higher income than white people, but their wealth is much lower. A white family that makes $30,000 to $60,000 less than a black family has all sorts of crazy stuff. Insurance, investment portfolio, life insurance, homeowners insurance, full auto insurance on all of their cars, certificates of deposit, CDs with the bank, money market accounts, Roth IRAs, 401ks, $60,000 less than a black family. And they have all of that. What was my tirade about women? That I'm not impressed with women. Women do not teach their children that. If we're going to say the children are now up to 60% born out of wedlock, and the woman has sole custody of the child, which is the preponderance of the evidence that she does, because she spends money like it's going out of style She just spends. She is the consummate consumer. She is the be-all, end-all consumer. She gets a paycheck and it's already spent. This is why women dominate in the marketplace, because they can't hold money. They don't have investments because they can't hold money. They don't have a stock portfolio because they can't hold money. They don't have a 401k. They don't have a retirement fund. They don't have an emergency fund. And they're not teaching their children this. I said we're in the second generation of children growing up without a father. Let's completely forget the whole notion about growing up without a father, and let's take a look at, is the mother providing the blueprint to her children? And the answer is squarely 0% of the blueprint. It is astounding that the children come out alive. And this is evidenced by 90% of the people in jail, 90% of the people in prison didn't have a father. And I don't want you to say they didn't have a father. I want you to say were raised by a single mother. Because it is now becoming clear that the women are the problem, not the men. You have black groups, white groups, Mexican groups, Latino groups, Asian groups of men saying, let me see my child. Let me have a relationship with my child. And the woman says no. So please stop it with the men are doing something. The men are not doing something. The men can't do anything. Why can't the men do anything? Because the women spend money like drunken sailors. That is the bottom line. That is more important than you seeing your child. You make more money than she does? Amen, brother. Fork that over in alimony and child support. Fork that over. Give it to the woman, because she is going to spend all of it. She's not going to spend it on the child. We're counting on it. We are guaranteeing the entire society on it. We are banking on it. Did you know food prices should have gone down months ago? Did you know this? Who is the number one consumer of food? And don't say it's men, because I made that question in a particular way with specific words. Who is the number one consumer of foods? And I don't mean who eats food. I mean who goes out and buys food. And the answer is women. Women are not tired of paying the inflated prices for food that should have gone down. They are on the record. They have no intention of lowering the food costs. Use your brain. Why do they not have any intention of lowering the food costs? Because women have not said lower the food costs. Women would prefer to just complain. They don't want to do anything. They want to complain. So now, would you like to see this blueprint? And I don't want me to present the blueprint and you all get mad, because the blueprint is going to say, this is what the average adult in America should have. All of these things. And it's not just for men. It's for women too. And everybody complains about women not being held accountable. It's because we don't hold women accountable. Girlfriend goes off the pill, doesn't tell the boyfriend, gets pregnant on purpose to keep the boyfriend because she knows he was going to dump her. And it worked. She became pregnant and he stayed. I saw a story like that, and tragically the boy died. We're not saying that she did anything to him. We would assume that he was going to die anyway, that it was his time. It wasn't a disease. Something actually happened to him. But she then came out and said, I got pregnant on purpose. I was supposed to be on the pill. I had been on the pill, and I got off it without telling him. There are more of that story. More of those stories now coming out. Now that we have TikTok and Facebook, and now women can confess their unholy secrets to the world. Also, I'm of the opinion that women has 100% lock and key between their legs. 100%. So please do not tell me anything about a man. Nothing. I won't hear it. Oh, something happened and how come the dignified women, nothing ever just happens to them? Oh, don't judge me. Yes, I'm going to judge you. Yes, you need to be judged. As an adult, you need to be judged. Children, you don't judge. Children, you look to their parents and say, why didn't you raise your child? We don't blame the child because the child is blameless, pretty much. We look to the parents and say, what's wrong with the parents? Why do they have a monster? But once you become an adult, it's time to judge you for everything that you do. Everything. Your weight, how much education you have, how much actual education. Not, I went and majored in gender studies. How much actual education do you have? And do you have something useful to contribute to society? Did you go to college and major in something that you can say, I have a degree in a specialization that I can use to go and market myself and people will want to hire me? A lot of people. And I don't mean diversity and inclusion. I don't mean that, because those are being eliminated. A lot of governments, state and local governments are eliminating those departments completely. So you're going to have a big problem. So no, that is not a skill. And that doesn't contribute to society anyway. Disney just fired their DEI director. And they're thinking about shutting down the entire department. Why? Because she is the reason behind the Black Little Mermaid. And they lost $1 billion. She's also the reason behind the Black Thelma. She's also the reason behind the what is it? Lesbian couple cartoon. And then the first openly but non-binary cartoon. All lost money hand over fist. So she was fired. She didn't produce. It would be great if she produced, right? But she didn't. She literally picked everything that people hated, and nobody watched it on TV, on Disney Plus. Nobody watched it. 0 people. So, do you have a skill that contributes to society? DEI does not contribute to society. I don't care who you are. I don't care how you look at it. Do you want me to go over the blueprint? And the blueprint is something that you could write down and say, this is what I'm going to work towards. And once I have completed the blueprint, I can say that I am a proper adult. If you don't have a father, I would recommend that you thumbs up the video and say, yes, I definitely want to see the blueprint. My mother did not teach me all of this. My father died when I was a young child. My mother barely talked to me. Barely. And I was sent away to boarding schools and prep schools and fancy schools. I didn't talk to her. I didn't learn a lot of stuff from her. Thank God some of the private schools have stuff like small engine repair, construction, and all sorts of stuff like that. Like literally taught me that in school. Otherwise, at home, I talked to the maid. I talked to my mother. And it was a very formal, and it still is, a very formal relationship. I have to refer to her and everybody else in the family according to their title. That's with money. Having money is not the thing. I can't say for sure, but I believe if my father was alive, it would have been different. I think. Thank y'all for watching. Thumbs the video up. You want to see it. And tell me in the comments you want to see the blueprint.